You think you're choosing what to watch, but the truth is, something chose you a long time ago. Every night you scroll through a glowing screen, thumb moving without thought, eyes scanning thumbnails and titles and faces you'll forget in seconds. And somewhere deep in your chest, there's a question you never speak out loud. When did I stop deciding and start reacting? The Romans knew this feeling too, and they built entire empires on it. Because distraction isn't a bug in the system, it's the system. And what worked in the Colosseum still works on your couch at 2 in the morning when you're 3 hours into a binge you didn't plan and can't remember starting. You felt it, that hollow ache after the screen goes dark, the strange guilt mixed with numbness, the sense that time just slipped through your fingers like water and left nothing behind but a faint headache and the glow of wasted potential burning quietly in the back of your mind. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not even weak, you're just caught in a trap so old and so elegant that it's been working on human beings since before Jesus walked the earth. And the people who run the entertainment industry today didn't invent this trick. They just perfected it with data and algorithms and a level of precision that would make a Roman emperor weep with envy. The mechanism is simple, almost embarrassingly so, which is why it works so well. Give people a spectacle, make it vivid and immediate and emotionally charged, then keep them watching long enough that they forget they had a life before the show started. Panem et circenses, bread and circuses, the oldest formula for control ever written down. And if you think that's ancient history, you've never spent a Friday night alone with a pizza and a streaming queue that somehow turns midnight into 4 in the morning without you noticing the hours vanish. The Romans filled the Colosseum with blood and roaring crowds and wild animals tearing men apart, not because they were monsters, but because they understood something about the human mind that we still refuse to admit. When you're emotionally overwhelmed, you stop thinking, and when you stop thinking, you stop questioning, and when you stop questioning, you become the easiest person in the world to lead. Skinner proved it with pigeons in a box, Pavlov proved it with dogs and bells, but the Romans proved it with entire populations, and the method hasn't changed, only the screen size. You walk into your living room after a long shift, brain fried from emails and small talk and fluorescent lights, and you tell yourself you'll just watch one episode, just one, just 20 minutes to unwind, and 6 hours later you're staring at the ceiling, wondering where your life went and why you feel more tired now than when you sat down. That's not entertainment, that's sedation. And the difference matters because one fills you up and the other drains you empty. And if you can't tell which one you've been getting, check how you feel when the credits roll. The genius of modern entertainment is that it doesn't look like control, it looks like choice. And that illusion is worth billions because a prisoner who thinks he's free will never try to escape. You scroll through 100 options, all tailored to your taste, all designed to feel personal, and you think you're the one in charge, but the algorithm knew what you'd pick before you did, and the autoplay countdown is already running before you've even decided if you liked what you just saw. This is the same technology emperors used to keep citizens docile while they consolidated power, started wars, and drained the treasury. Except now it's faster, cheaper, and delivered directly into your bedroom, with a side of targeted ads that know your insecurities better than your closest friends. History keeps rhyming because human nature doesn't update, and every generation thinks it's immune to the tricks that fooled their grandparents, which is exactly why the tricks still work. The Romans gave people gladiators, we give people influencers, and both serve the same function. Keep eyes busy so minds stay quiet. You think you're watching for fun, but fun is just the candy coating. The real product is your attention, your time, your energy, the hours you'll never get back, and the dreams you'll never chase because you were too numb to notice they were slipping away. The cost isn't loud, it's quiet. It's the book you didn't write, the skill you didn't learn, the conversation you didn't have, the person you didn't become because you were too busy being entertained into a stupor. You feel it on Sunday night when the weekend's over and you can't remember a single meaningful thing you did. Just a blur of screens and snacks and that creeping sense that you're living in a waiting room and forgot what you're waiting for. But here's the part they don't tell you. The part that changes everything if you let it sink in. The moment you see the trap, it loses half its power. Awareness is the crack in the cage, the first breath of air after you've been underwater too long. And once you notice how the trick works, you can't unsee it. And that's when the real choice begins. You're not a Roman citizen in the Colosseum. You're not a lab rat in a box. You're a human being with a finite number of hours on this planet and the capacity to decide what you do with them. And that decision starts the second you stop letting the screen make it for you. The entertainment will always be there, louder and shinier and more seductive than ever. But so will you. And the question isn't whether you'll watch, it's whether you'll remember you're the one who's supposed to be living the story, not just consuming someone else's. The veil is thin now. You've felt it lifting. And once you've seen the shape of the trick, you can't pretend it's invisible anymore. And that's not a burden, that's a gift. You were never meant to be numb. You were meant to be awake. And every moment you choose awareness over distraction is a moment you take your life back from a system that's been running on autopilot for 2,000 years. The screen will still glow tonight, but maybe this time you'll decide when to turn it off. And maybe that decision will be the first one you've made in a long time that's actually yours. If this pulled back the curtain just a little, hit that like button, subscribe for more truths the system doesn't want you noticing, and remember, the algorithm feeds on your time, but your mind is still your own.